Hi, spots and cheap pops, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It is me, Silicon Steve Valley, and I am with reigning, defending Purple Nurple champion and all over great guy, Vladi Dottie. He's in the house. And we are talking AEW Collision debuting tonight. So we're talking about AEW Collision specifically tonight. We already talked about CM Punk. Vladi Dottie, let's go through what we're going to see tonight at AEW Collision. And let's first and foremost, there was some news about AEW's creative team having some changes and having some additions. Jimmy Jacobs is now going to be joining the likes of CM Punk and Bryan Danielson, which is also
Dax Harwood.
Dax Harwood, who just was announced. Ace Steel, which is whatever. He's going to bite people, I guess. And a couple other guys that were pretty much predominant in Ring of Honor. But your thoughts on Jimmy Jacobs becoming part of the All Elite Wrestling? Obviously, big-time writer for WWE for a few years. Your opinion?
I thought it was a good move to bring him aboard. He's leaving Impact, I believe. And most importantly, in terms of this situation, I recall Jimmy Jacobs being in WWE, being part of the mastermind situation between Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho, doing the whole Chris Jericho being Kevin Owens' best friend angle, which was one of the more entertaining ones that they had probably until the Bloodline evolved. Like the way that was totally played, I know Jimmy Jacobs was very heavily involved there. So to have that sort of mind with this team, that should definitely be a major plus and step forward. This is the sort of help that Tony Khan needs. And if he starts listening to these guys versus the EVPs and Jericho, that's a good sort of step into the future, especially when you need to go and provide more hours of entertainment each week now.
All right. Well, that's definitely could use some help with some long-term booking and some of the things that they have dropped the ball on booking. Again, I think AEW overall has been booked very solidly so far this year, and it's starting to get better and better. It's really starting to rev up. So that's good news for there. We also found out who is going to be doing the announcing for AEW Collision, and a couple for me, one very surprising name, Kevin Kelly of New Japan Pro Wrestling fame, of course, formerly of Ring of Honor as well. And of course, he was famously there when Brian Pillman tried to shoot Steve Austin.
Remember that?
He was there, and he looked scared out of his mind. Looked like he was shitting himself. Then he was called Hermie.
Yeah, it was immediately
by The Rock.
When I read that news, I thought of that Rock.
Oh my God, The Rock said a lot of things that would not go over well these days. But
not very.
But we have Kevin Kelly, and we have Nigel McGuinness, of course, Ring of Honor fame. He was, of course, the NXT color commentator, and Jim Ross.
Yeah.
So JR back in prime time, and legit prime time on a legit show. JR getting the call again, and I'm glad. I'm glad JR is still finding his way back on TV because I think he's still something to offer. Nigel McGuinness, I'm okay with. I did not love his stuff in New Japan and NXT as a color commentator, but I get it. People love him because of his connection with the Indies early, and particularly Ring of Honor.
Right.
And then Kevin Kelly, who for me, it's a really tough call between him and Excalibur as the two best play-by-play guys in the sport. It really is. Kevin Kelly is that good, and he calls it like a sport. He makes you believe, and he also puts over the drama and the storylines that are going well. So Kevin Kelly is fantastic. So I don't think you could do much better on their commentary team.
Yeah, I thought it was a really strong step to like have those three guys together. And I was really, it was almost like a little nostalgic to see JR's, name there. It's like the first show, he's going to be a part of the broadcast team. And who could work well with JR are guys like FTR, CM Punk, Miro, because these guys have walked the same miles really, and it's a good connection that they would have for this. So
JR is really anti-drama too. JR, I think he's a much more calming, soothing spirit. I think that AEW might need. Maybe if JR was a little more involved at last year's All In or All Out, maybe things would have been a little different. Who knows?
Yeah. So that was awesome. The creative, so we're here, and the broadcast team is really impressive. The creative team is taking it up a notch. This is really a good formula to go and put on definitely some great entertainment on Saturday night. And what's going to be intriguing to watch is if it bleeds into Wednesday night.
I'm really looking forward to it. And we got CM Punk, who's going to obviously cut a promo. He said he doesn't, and he said he's not sure what he's going to say, but he's got a lot to get off his chest. He said he's coming back to finish some scores, to settle some scores. And so it's great. CM Punk, of course, wrestling in the likely main event tonight. What is the card looking like for AEW Collision tonight, Vladi?
Excuse me. So the card looks pretty good for an initial show. Definitely. Right off the bat, we have the return of Miro. He will be in action. I think he's going to get a huge pop.
I think a lot of people have missed him, and a lot of people are just wondering why the hell he hasn't been used. And everyone always talks about creative. That's a sad reason not to have one of your biggest stars on television.
Yeah, because he was moving the needle for them too.
Stupid problem to have.
Yep. Then I was really digging this match. We got Buddy Matthews with the returning Andrade.
El Idolo.
Very talented guys going against each other there. That's like an NXT heyday sort of match.
Yeah, absolutely.
When they were good. We also have, let's see here, Willow Nightingale and Sky Blue against Tony Storm and Ruby Soho.
I'm okay with that. I mean, we've kind of seen this play out a lot, though. So it's definitely going to be, I would say, the weakest of the matches.
Yep. And then we have the TNT Championship between Wardlow and Luchasaurus.
Interesting, but I'm not. I don't think we see anything other than a Wardlow win.
I hope we hear from Christian.
Yeah, Christian has been great. He has been such a great heel. He gets the kind of heat that Don Callis is getting, and for Christian to get that kind of reaction at this stage of his career, I mean, he's getting a bigger reaction than Edge is getting at this point in time.
Oh, definitely. It's not even close.
It really isn't. Christian has renaissanced himself as kind of a manipulator, and he really has, worked everyone. That was brilliant. I should outwork everyone, and that was literally what he came out as. And then the entire year, his first year, he was pretty much, he obviously had the run as the TNA champion or the Impact champion. But other than that, he really didn't do a lot of work in the ring for a while when he started being the manager of Jungle Boy and the Jurassic Jerk-Off.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll see Arn Anderson as well. And then maybe we'll see Arn's son, Brock.
Anderson. Anderson.
And then finally, the main event. This place is going to be rocking. We're going to see Samoa Joe, Jay White, and Juice Robinson against FTR and the return of the Second City Saint, CM Punk.
FTR back again. And let's hope CM Punk doesn't injure himself. Last time they tagged together, it didn't finish well. CM Punk, maybe not jump into the crowd this time around.
Yeah, he's going to joke about it, and we're all going to laugh.
But, I mean, what you love about this is you love that FTR are back together. You love that Jay White and Juice Robinson are put in this position. They are saying, okay, these guys are stars. Because I was a little worried that they were going to botch Jay White's entrance because I didn't love how he was introduced for the first time. This guy is a huge, huge star, and they kind of forced, if I can be honest. It seemed like they kind of forced it or rushed his debut.
We still don't know what he and Ricky Starks were fighting over.
Well, they don't like Ricky Starks. Jay White's Jay White's explained himself. He thinks Ricky's arrogant.
Oh, okay. That was the whole reason for the feud.
I think you're going to see Ricky Starks somehow in this main event at some point, which means you're probably going to see either new members officially the Gun Club joining BCG, or they're going to get another new member. But I would look for Bullet Club Gold to get a new member tonight, at least one, if not two. Obvious choice is the Guns, but it could be somebody else. You want to make a big splash going off air here. You want to make a big statement. There's even a wild rumor getting floated that CM Punk turns heel on FTR and joins Bullet Club. I don't doubt severely that would happen. But
crazy talk.
It is crazy talk. But you never know, because CM Punk hasn't gotten warm reactions through the entire country, only in Chicago. So it'll be very interesting to see where CM Punk goes. He could come back and cut a heel promo and basically be a total dick. Who knows? We don't know what CM Punk is going to say, and that's really what I'm most looking forward to. What is that man, CM Punk, master of the pipe bomb, who sounds like he's not going to have many fucks to give Steele after we listen to what he said in the ESPN article. I wonder how much he's going to say, because he hates saying no comment. He even said that in the interview. That's going to be the wild thing. CM Punk back on AEW television, on our television screens.
Yep.
I am shocked there are people that are upset about it. I am absolutely shocked. It's ridiculous to me that you wouldn't want this guy on your TV set.
Yeah, and there's definitely people out there that are just like, hey, he doesn't need to come back. It's no big deal, blah, blah. It's like, you're crazy. This is a big deal. This could be a huge deal is what's sad.
And their loyalty to the elite and the loyalty to the guys who started this company, I get, because I'm like that. I love them. And I am very grateful that they helped build this company to where professional wrestling is in a 20 times better place than it was 5 years ago before they started. It's just a reality. AEW has changed professional wrestling. It changed the entire spectrum of the sport, and it changed how many people can pay for their families. It has a ripple effect throughout the rest of the independent scene because AEW works with everybody. It's been great, and I honor that. But at the same time, the elite, how do you not want to work with CM Punk? And how do you want to have so much loyalty to the elite that you wouldn't want to see that? That, to me, you got to have a fair mind at some point. And I think elite fans are oftentimes a detriment to this company because they're so almost like a cult to the elite. The fact remains is we all want this company to grow and become bigger and become better and flourish for decades to come.
Yep.
You have to wonder right now if the elite's vision of all elite wrestling is the way to go. Numbers don't lie, like Scott Steiner would say. The numbers don't lie. And I'd like to leave one more thing before we get out of here tonight, Vladi, with the CM Punk. The one quote that I absolutely loved about CM Punk is he was talking about the competition you're going to see on Collision. He's talking about Collision. If I'm the poster boy, top guy, whatever, this is what people dream about. If I'm the top guy, sorry, that's the number. If I'm the poster boy, top guy, whatever, this is what people dream about. You get put in a position like this and, can't take negative criticism. Personally, I took it like a challenge. But as far as ticket sales for Saturday Night Compare and Contrast, I think it's a lot easier to move a Saturday night ticket to a live event than it is on a work day on a Wednesday. So there's positives and negatives. You know what I mean? And I look at the negatives as these huge detriment, and I don't look at the negatives as these huge detrimental things. So obviously, and you and I discussed it, we're talking that the Collision ratings probably aren't going to be great because Saturday night's not a great time. But he says he looks at it like a challenge, but he also says you can get more seats and more fannies in the seats with the ticket sales. So he didn't even take full credit. Like, if you remember, Punk said they sold that first $1 million gate on his back. That's what really sounded like he was a jerk off. This time, he actually said it's easier to move ticket sales on Saturdays. So there seems like there's a different tone to CM Punk. Maybe not so arrogant, because I think that's what turned a lot of people off, how arrogant he was.
He was just enjoying some pastries.
But he also goes on to say, with more TV time, you're only going to see guys like Hobbs and Starks, people who I think have the potential to do what an MJF has done with his television time. But they haven't been able to be positioned because a guy like MJF gets a big lion's share of television time because he earned it.
It's a great compliment to everybody.
We just need to do a better job of spotlighting so many different guys. And this is, for a lot of guys, sink or swim. Wow. Now it's just like, well, now it's the time. You're going to have to really bust your ass and prove why we're giving you the spotlight and this TV time. And you notice how he says we're. This guy's going to be a major player in this company right now. And you have to wonder, where does that put the elite when all their contracts are up? If CM Punk has this kind of stroke.
I saw a floated rumor out there that the AEW is planning on re-signing everybody, including Hangman, huge extension, and a huge raise. And I'm like, why is there a huge raise involved here? What's your competition? Kenny, yes.
And Hangman. WWE would take Hangman just to take him away from it. I don't think he would be big there.
Yeah. I agree with that. Young Bucks.
But the thing about AEW is you get used to that schedule, and then having to go do WWE schedule is a whole different ballgame. And if your money can be comparable, that's what happened with Dax Harwood. He gets to hang out with his family a lot more. Hangman Adam Page has a young son and probably another kid on the way eventually. So these guys, it will be an extraordinarily rude awakening to go to WWE and work that schedule if you've never worked that schedule before. See, Cody Rhodes knew what that schedule would entail.
Yeah, and he was willing to embrace it.
Yeah, but the other thing is Tony Khan might not want to see another Cody Rhodes. I mean, a lot of people are saying, "What the fuck, Tony? How can you let this guy go? He's going to be the biggest name."
It's true.
And let's be honest, we were thinking that too. I think we said we could see Cody flourish in WWE.
Yeah.
But once that AEW cult, the cult fan base of AEW turned on him, there was nothing to do. There was no coming back from that. It's not Tony's fault. There was no coming back with Cody. Unless Cody had to turn heel in AEW and he didn't want to do it. And that might have been part of the creative issue. That Tony was like, we got to turn you heel. And Cody's like, I'm not doing it. And I go, all right.
Yeah, and it just the way he was sort of painted in a corner with the booking there too. He wasn't really interacting with Kenny or the Bucks or Hangman. He had where it was almost like the CM Punk situation, but on the same show.
Cody was doing some bad stuff in 2021, though, or 2020 specifically, actually.
A go-go.
During the pandemic, the go-go with that horrible weigh-in with the Big Show. And just a couple of the other things that never really panned out, promos he was about to cut. But I don't want to get into it. I think that Tony doesn't want that kind of egg on his face again. And also, they did start the company, and there is something romantic about making sure that they stay in AEW. So I get it, but from a business perspective, do they deserve it, particularly after not being able to draw 700,000 against the Blackpool Comic Club this past week? You can make the argument they don't deserve raises, at least not the Young Bucks. But I think Kenny, what he's done and what Hangman has done overall, Hangman also being relatively younger, I think it would behoove Tony to keep both of those two guys. And if you're keeping those two, you obviously have to keep the Bucks.
Yeah, but you know what? I would definitely try to short the Bucks a bit. Honestly, as EVPs, especially Omega and the Bucks, those guys are getting health benefits. It's a huge financial burden off of them already.
I thought everyone got it. I thought most of the wrestlers, full-time wrestlers, got health benefits there.
There's just three of them.
Oh, okay.
They're the three.
Good for them.
But getting back to your point, that's what I thought too. And then it didn't go through for the other guys, but it went through for them.
Well, they're EVPs, and then also Kenny. They're all doing extra stuff other than Kenny obviously was a very big part of the game coming out. So I'm okay. I'm not going to kill him for that, but
no, but that's part of the negotiation thing. It's like, why would you have to overpay? You're already overpaying them compared to others. I can see with Kenny and Hangman. Yeah, okay, we're going to sweeten this deal, make sure the next 3 years we're looking good. Bucks, you know what? Until you prove you can do something creatively good or get out of this funk or whatever the hell you want to call it, whatever the hell you want to call it, like,
or get a reaction,
or get a reaction, not play that dopey song again.
Without blowing someone's face up, only for him to get up in 91 seconds anyway.
And again, that's another moment between these two within the last 2 weeks together, right?
Maybe that's what he was saying. Hey, did you see that explode in my face? Yeah, it's cool. It was so cool. Yeah, it's fucking cool. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm mad at you.
He's like, I'm gonna go and save Eddie right now. Then you come in and super
Eddie. I'm gonna look awkward right now first because that's what I do.
Then you super kick me.
Oh my god! But I don't know. We're off the trails and we're off the rails at this point in time. But yeah, I'm with you. But it's again that the sky. I think what AEW has is that sweet schedule for guys that have young families. And guys that don't love it. And the other part about the Young Bucks, and I'm not sure about Kenny, but they just don't seem like they're having as much fun as they were. I've said it before. And that's probably part of their problem. They look like they're forcing it. They don't look like it's real. Doesn't look honest. Yeah. And you got to kind of be that way. And I get people are going to love the Bucks or get a good reaction, but the Bucks aren't getting a lot of reactions lately, folks. They've got to be, and you wonder if it's sink or swim for the elite. It sounds like CM Punk said it was sink or swim for a lot of people on Collision. It's going to be interesting to see the two shows kind of battling to seeing which one puts on better content. I don't know if the ratings are going to be as big of a deal, but I think the vibe, the critical aspects of it, and actually the creative aspects of it, that's where I think you're going to see the real competition between AEW Dynamite and AEW Collision.
Yeah, I think you're right, man. I mean, you're going to have a litmus test actually on a weekly basis here.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. So, AEW Collision tonight, please check it out. CM Punk back going to cut a promo and scorch the earth. Vladi Dottie, I know you're excited. This is Silicon Steve Valley for Vladi Dottie. We want to thank you for watching. Hi, sponsored Cheap Pops. Hit the subscribe button. We're glad to be back. Thank you for watching. We're so grateful for you guys. And if you can, share, comment. What do you think CM Punk is going to say? And what do you think CM Punk is going to do tonight on AEW Collision for Vladi Dottie? This is Silicon Steve Valley. Thank you for watching. Hi, sponsored Cheap Pops. Here ended the lesson.